All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pato, subbing back out for my team, Bros Before Hoes. They are now in the winners final. Going to be taking on V4V, which is going to be our blue team over here on the left-hand side. And as you can see, the bands coming out, J4, Pantheon, Amumu, definitely some targeted bands. Looked into the past histories, at least in the last game, did see some of their players actually playing Pantheon and some of those champions. On the other end, they banned Rammus, Blitzcrank, Kale. Kale just probably has been off the top. Blitzcrank hadn't really been playing that. Rammus was featured earlier on, and actually Kuna's been able to draw 2 bans this tournament with it, just out of a fun poke comp we've been playing, actually. Just in normals. Basically farming that honor, surrendering to people after we dominated with a ridiculous poke comp. But we did use it round 1, so I think a lot of people have seen him play that, saw that it was successful. Don't want to have to deal with it, which you can actually have some really crazy annoying ganks in lane that no one really wants to deal with. Can get those Mobo home guard boots, teleport in, do all sorts of crazy stuff, and just dive turrets straight up, or just run out of your base and dive people. So going to be able to block that out as we look at both these teams. A lot of really good poke and some good champions coming in for V4V team. On the other end, we do see the Hecarim, Ezreal, Morgana, Ryze, and Aurelia, which are pretty good teams, but it's going to take a while to warm up, at least with that lineup. Ryze and Aurelia for sure. Going to take a little bit to get going, but of course, Vlad as well is one of those champions that wants to wait till level 9, but can be a really big powerhouse later. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually works out here. But the Morgana support actually is a pretty solid pick. The main reason the reason that we see the Morgana support in here is actually we did run it in the last game that we played against Nitty Pool's team. 4 dudes and a Miss Alley Cat. The reason you play that actually against this comp, it's actually really, really good. So Kale's actually, we see the band come out, they wanted to probably play Vi. Kale's a good counter to Vi. What's also a good counter to Vi is Black Shield. So Black Shield can actually, while Vi has that line, she's zeroing on our target, Morgana basically just has a giant beacon that says, hey, put your Black Shield on this person, and they're going to take no CC. It'll be even better than Kale, so that is why you take her. Plus, in lane, when you're laning against a Taric, basically negates all his dazzles, which do have a faster move speed, but will get negated a little bit. So Morgana support here, actually a really big pick, and actually is pretty successful against comps like this. So if you see that comp in the future, you might want to run Morgana support. Is legit. Plus, it gives you a lot of AoE CC and kite and peel. So it should be interesting to see what actually comes out of that as we load up into this game. At least into this early stage, we'll see what actually goes on here. V4V, again, the winner final. Whichever team wins this game will actually have a pretty good path on their way. They'll have to basically sit and wait for the losers bracket to work themselves out. Miss Alley Cat's team is going to be playing that game right now in the losers bracket. I imagine they might advance. If they do advance, they will be taking on V4V, and it should be a pretty good matchup. Loaded up here. Pirate Rise, of all things. My most hated skin, honestly. If there's one sellout thing in League of Legends, it's the Pirate. Oh, man. Hurts my soul. Hurts my soul. Maybe if they win this tournament, then he can have Triumphant Rise and just call it a day right there. But we will see the Super Hack Steel Legion Lux, which if you play Lux, you might as well play that skin just because it's OP and you can't see your light binding, which should be fixed here shortly. I know they've already talked about it. Know that, it's at least, I think the first one that was really, really huge was Annie, and the fact you couldn't see her stun around her. But here we go. We're going to actually have the teams lined up here. And actually, 1 second. Going to fix the shenanery.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Looks like teams just starting out here. Run towards blue, red ward going down at the red bush at least. Don't worry, hop back in there, just trying to fix overlays really quickly.
Seconds until minions spawn.
You heard it. You heard the lady. 30 seconds.
Why doing blue and then coming potentially
Whoa. All right, that's better. So V4V going to be our blue team, and we're going to see Bros Before Hose. Going to be the red team, as we see. They're actually doing a little bit of invade here. They are going to be cut out by this ward, though, that is going to catch them invading in here. See what V4V actually does with that information. See if they capitalize on it. Okay, sorry about the sounds. All right, now we're good. All right, so going to be starting out here. TK Rain come down. Looks like they are going to be taking that red buff. Vi now working on this blue buff. Probably going to save her smite out here so that she can try to get over and counter this and go for the enemy's red, which if they respond to this correctly should be able to take it right away. But stun coming in. Smite's still going to go down. Now is he going to live? Actually gets that Night Down. It's very, very close. Running around here. Light Binding does land. Will he be able to get out of this? It looks like it's going to be close. No, he is going to get out first blood. Going to go to the enemy team. Tarek taking the Ignite, but they are going to be out of this. So good response by V4V. And that is kind of the typical response we do see in the AD and the support coming up to try to stomp that out when you do have a ward there. So already first time probably this tournament. Bros Before Hose is actually going to be on the back foot here, but we should see a decent game go down here. See the early harass coming in from Kuniv. Going to try to lay a lot of pressure on that top lane. And Vlad with boots. I mean, that gives him some mobility, but I mean, really his job is just to make it to 9. I don't know if that's really going to help him to have the boost there, but we'll see what actually comes out of that lane. We see the more traditional thing now. We see the flats actually for mana and more. Vi coming up there just to be a nuisance. V4V can come in there, get the Tides of Blood off. Warding that Tri-Brush, catching that out. Hecarim's still working his way around towards his own red. Didn't actually get that stolen, it looks like. So he actually is not too bad off, actually. Lizard's still up, so red buff for Vi is going to be a long way coming back. So at least that is working for them in this early stage. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we get to see TK Rain showing up. Someone here what he can get going for his team. Along with this, we're going to have support, and we'll see in here, relatively pretty safe here right now with what they have set up here. And at least gets that tank minion, so looking like it's going to be pretty good. In this mid lane, Rise is going to be pushed like this quite a bit, and it's really going to be up to Wolniga is going to be on extra duty to try to last hit under turret, and that's really what you want to see. It's actually a really good matchup. I know that they were thinking about picking Lux originally when they held on. It looks like it would have been actually a pretty good pick for what's actually going with now the one little wild card they have in their back pocket is that this Rise does have a teleport, so he might be able to come down and make something happen. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they'll actually have the opportunity to come down here. But they're actually holding off this wave actually pretty well right now between TK Rain and Ifrit Bears, even though they're getting pushed in pretty decently by this Tristana, who, I mean, that's what she's really, really good at. Has that exploding shot, can push a lane really, really quickly on you. The TK Rain, you know, going to be probably a little bit rusty for this game, but we'll see how it actually works out for them. Cloud and Shin just working together in tandem. Have been playing together quite a bit. I mean, this V4V team's kind of one of these up-and-coming LAN teams that's been playing around and just slowly growing over the LAN tournaments we got to see him. So actually excited to see him out here at Emerald City LAN Fest. And again, if you don't know what Emerald City LAN Fest, it's a giant LAN down in Seattle. Emerald City LAN was the first one last year. We actually met Ryok and a lot of players from Metallica's team here. A lot of good players in the Northwest League of Legends scene. We see a little bit of engagement going up here. Vlad very, very low, eating that true damage, not liking what he sees here. And Kunim just going to back him off, waiting for some of those cooldowns to come back and maybe to re-engage. And Vlad now gone back, had bought one tome, working up towards that revolver, but we're probably going to see eventually, once the flasks are out, Kuniv backing off as well. And really, Kuniv is just kind of biding time. And that's what Aurelia is. Aurelia is just a little bit of a time bomb. You know, she just basically waits to get her main items, and then once she gets those, she can be a real big threat at the back line. But Emerald City LAN Fest, back to what I was saying. So it's a land, it's a sold out land, over 200 people down here in Atlas Networks. Now, Atlas Networks is, you know, obviously their own network data center. They host servers. So if you have, you know, if you play Battlefield or any of those kind of things, definitely check them out. You know, I heard Comcast and a lot of other places lost their internet in different areas. Atlas Network's still kicking. We're still playing League of Legends. We're still streaming. We're still casting. So big shout out to those guys. And it's actually a pretty cool environment. And, you know, these LAN tournaments are always fun to get out and meet all the players and have kind of fun like that. So it is going to be pretty cool. And NCIX, actually big shout out to them. They're actually, you know, mainly Canada, kind of like the Best Buy of Canada, if you will. But they're now moving down and actually going to be crossing over the border and actually bring products to America. And actually, they're actually a really cool company. Worked with them quite a bit. And the winners of this will actually take home gift certificates. I think it's like $100 or more to NCIX for this tournament. So actually, big, worthwhile prize though for the first place champions. So there is something decent on the line beyond the normal Riot prize support and the honor, since a lot of these players do know each other very well. I5 Bear's going to eat that one, then, oh, we're actually going to see, interesting that she, we see the Vault Breaker actually into the Black Shield, so there's no actually slow on the back of that, follow that up. Morgana just was able to eat that one after the fact, so. And here we see Highwind coming in here. It is going to be the pool of blood after the fact, knocks him a little bit into the turret, but really just trying to keep him down, keep him harassed, slow his roll to those later levels. Actually has no more pots left over for him, so he just basically relied on his own sustained healing, which is partly why he started 3 pots, but we'll see. It's been working out pretty decently for him. He's actually a little bit ahead over Aurelia so far, and Highwind waiting this one out. Pool still on cooldown, running this one down, and Aurelia just not quite in range to do anything about this. And they're just going to keep poking him down. Look, he's finally going to come back. So, yeah, it looks like V4V finally going to back off. And now let's look towards that middle lane, which even though Wolleneg's been being pushed really, really hard, he's actually doing fine in mid lane, which as a Rise, if you're ever even, typically you're ahead. Now, the one X factor, though, for someone like this is, a lot of burst damage coming in there, but Morgana getting in there, protecting just a little bit. Gonna have to see a little bit more clutch. I know I5 Bears was getting a little sleepy over there. We gave him a 5-hour energy, so hopefully he starts to perk out, starts to kick in. We can see him hop back to attention to this one, get those quick reaction times, those Black Shields. We'll see it coming in here. And again, there's kind of an endurance to these lands that does come into effect. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Everybody's sleepy. Some people stayed up all night. Some people slept on concrete floors. So there is going to be some fatigue as this tournament does go on, but should be interesting. Again, neither one of these teams, if they lose, will actually be knocked out of the tournament. Those go to the losers bracket, have to play at least 2 more games, I think, to get back, or at least 1 or 2 more games to get back. So should be interesting to see how this goes down. Being in the winners final, obviously a bigger advantage because you only need 1 game instead of 2. Obviously a big plus. And after we saw that, there is kind of the one letdown could be that, the team Bears Before Hose is they already were able to topple the mountain that was Miss Alleycat's team. So since they were able to do that, it might be a situation where since they can pick up that win, then they can transfer that into something else and better. But then maybe they get a little bit overconfident against this V4V team, who actually is, if you think Miss Alleycat's one of the better teams, then this is probably the next team below it. But they could be even better. They could be on a hot streak. They're feeling pretty confident. Warmed up the first 2 games. And it's going pretty well. And TK Rain, even though it's a little rusty, not working out too bad. And the Black Shield coming in here. The ult coming in just in time. Beautiful Black Shield from I5 Bears. And that's what I'm talking about there. True Shot Barrage flying through the enemy team. Gets them very, very low. And what a great turnaround right there. And that's why you take Morgana support right there. That is the picture perfect stellar play from him, and nice reaction time. Wasn't just on the dazzle, actually blocked the vial, blocked a lot of CC there, and they were able to turn that around with the Morgana as well and just deal massive damage. So props to them. V4V Frost taking a little bit of harass there. We see Kunev Deacon back out into the brush, just trying to trade up as much as he can. It looks like he actually does have a null magic mantle, but we do see that Vlad has actually picked up that revolver, so he's going to be sitting a little bit prettier now. And here we go. Just trading going on, just stalling out now. After that first blood, which was a really nice response to Dragon, haven't really seen much after that. Looks like we actually do have a lot of wards actually up, though, for Bros Before Hose, and 0 up right now on the map for the enemy team. So no wards up there. That's kind of interesting. Highwind could actually have his way with a lot of things right now if he actually starts to get down there. I know that at least earlier, since they're sitting right next to me, you might overhear a little bit what's going on because Highwind is loud. But if you do hear what's going on, they did call out that there was missing wards. And here comes Highwind on this lane. Misses out just barely. Nice flash out by Rogue Master. He's going to bring the laser back in onto Rise. Not going to be close enough. V4 Shin caught out by himself. Binding just barely misses. Otherwise, he would have been in a lot of trouble. Would have needed some serious backup there for Deshaun. You see all across the board, just in general, BB4 Hose trying to make something happen. And there's the ult coming in here. It's going to go all in on this, but it's not. It's going to work out. Actually going to dissipate with not too much of a blow to Kunev. Kunev just getting right back in there. Not scared of this Vlad at all, but now he's just kind of running out of fumes. Ward down here in the bot lane, at least with brush control, and now we see actually a ward taking over back over Dragon, which is where that pressure came from, and Tri-Brush. So a lot of good wards covering that bottom lane. As we look here, the rest of the map, a lot of good wards protecting their own jungle. Highwind being very, very cautious with that. As we see the jungle going along here, looks like Highwind actually slightly ahead, at least in his damage build. Going to be heading towards that Spirit of the Elder Lizard next. And once he gets that, he'll be able to deal some fat damage on the back of that. Rise guy has Tear, has his Catalyst. So he's just kind of getting to his bread and butter items. I think as we look up here, Kuna just kind of still waiting for the best time to actually get back. Lux with that needlessly large rod, because she has that long range, so she's not too concerned with mobility or just, you know, kind of not being in trouble. She just really just wants, you know what, I'm just going to get a ton of AP, deal some fat damage, and just bring the pain that way. And let's look at what she's going there. Meanwhile, Tristana doing the same thing, not doing the new chic Blade of the Rune King Rush. Not concerned with that. Could have also kind of run out of gas up tier. He's either going to need help, or at least someone to cover his lane, but he's going to need a chance to actually get back. As we look over here, I think he's banking up a decent amount of money. Actually, yeah, he has 1.1k gold just kind of sitting around. And there's the Shackle in mid lane. Again, no escapes we talked about earlier. Knocks her back into this. Should be able to pick up another kill. Just one more spell should be able to get this. There it is. Overcharge is coming in there, going to be able to get up that kill. So there's a big kill in mid like they need to do. Starting to make some plays. We see Kunev did go back, is going to buy up a Phage now to have a little bit of extra slowed so he can stick onto that Vlad so he can't get that distance that he's been getting recently. Now we see Vi actually coming over the wall, just putting a little bit of damage, eating a little damage on the boy back out. But good coverage, at least for her. That was a long-range Shackle. That looked abnormally far from me, and we see the lane pushed up here. Highwind now coming in on the backside. They are going to see this on the tri-brush, and they will have the leap to get out. So I think they're calling for this already. Ping's going down, and yeah, they're going to see him right out now, and they're just going to probably just try to toy around with this a little bit. But if they were able to pick up a big thing there, could be a good deal. And now we actually see Seeker's Arm Guard coming out for Vlad, so he's already working into some protection to deal with this already. Although luckily for Kunev, he actually has a good mix of true damage as well. It's going to eat right through that armor, so could be pretty good, but still a good item against these AD carries. Might actually see him. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I was going to say, if he really wanted to be super safe and just totally shut down the lane, he could go something else, but I doubt he's going to go. We'll see what he does with his boots, but looking at the rest of the items, everything else is kind of solid, working into their standard items so far. And there's the Blade of the Elder Lizard actually for Highwind. And you see these trades starting to go more and more in the favor of Kunev as he goes in here. And that's kind of what I expect a little bit, at least as this is going on. And Vi coming in the background to try to back this up. The Flash was going to go all in there, but Flash is burned, at least for both players. So both players flash down. Flash is traded for safety. Otherwise, everything up for Bros Before Hoes, and on the other side, just kind of waiting for their moments here. And we see the teleport coming bottom. They're going to come in as the 4-man gank. Will they be able to catch anybody? That is the key. Push Morgana away, which is very, very nice, but they kind of come back into it, and the Soul Shackle does not go off, but they are able to take off Tristana. Now they're working on to target that 4-man gank very strong in the bot lane, and that is a big move for Bros Before Hoes. Now they're up some kills. Now they can rotate into a dragon, and this is one of the easiest and best ways to get a big advantage, at least in a competitive game, and nicely executed right there with all their tools they have. Lux, meanwhile, pushing up this mid lane hard. V4V Frost actually going very, very hard in on this top lane just to get some pressure in here. It does have the pull, so he could try to go all in, but stuns him underneath turret. Now he's going to pull. Ignite goes down, needs to respond really, really quickly to try to get him, but a nice kill from Frost right there in that top lane, just playing that well. Has that Vlad sense, and just goes in for the kill up in the top lane while he stalls him out. And now it's kind of tipping into the favor where Kuda's gonna have to just start. I mean, it's gonna take him a lot longer to warm up. Vlad's kind of hitting his stride now as we see he's level 11. He's past that key moment where he actually has max cooldown and you know, sap from his Q, and so now he's actually gonna be looking pretty. And then while they get Master Kiva trading it up here in the mid lane. Although, yeah, we'll see how we come back. Nice response actually, very, very nicely done. And now we're going to have to see actually what goes down here. Again, pink ward over the dragon, so a little bit of vision control in there, although it might be a little bit deep in here. Yeah, actually can't see out here, but dragon down. And we'll see how we go here. Again, only a 700 gold lead right now for... So we're going to have to see actually how this works out. Rogue Master Kiba. We'll see what they do. Good push in action. And Vi actually now working on the red buff, so you're going to be able to pick that up. And Kunev coming back to lane actually, I think he actually has more magic resist now to try to press this, but really, like, he's not going to be able to win trades up in this top lane for quite a while. This is going to have to farm on any turret and just have to eat a lot of damage, and Vlad can just rinse repeat a lot of damage unless he can get some sort of help up there. It's kind of the stage he's going to, and we'll see Vlad. I mean, Vlad, that's all he's concerned with. He just wants to get really, really big as fast as possible if he can. And then, just obviously just become that big late game threat like he is. Although the time bomb they do have, they still have Aurelia, they still have Rise on the side for Bros 4 hosts, so we'll see if they can actually get through that. So yeah, just basically everybody going back to lane, starting that back up, see if there's actually any more aggression. We'll see where Highwind decides to go with this. A lot of wars actually down this bottom side, so if he comes up through lane, could actually be very, very good. But beyond that, we'll have to actually see how that actually works out for them, at least as far as this is going on. So TK Ran, I Fight Bears working this out. And, yeah. Oh, good times. Play of the Root King is finished for Ezreal, so Ezreal's going to have a little bit of extra person there. We see the whiff there, but Highwind's going back down bottom. They're going to focus on Shin yet again. Actually, missed the pushback, and now they're just going to try to get a little more damage on. Soul Shackle is going to land, but is going to take a turret shot. It's going to be very, very close. He actually is going to barely live. So I Fight Bears is barely living, and they are able to pick off the kill. So another good pick off in that bot lane, but top turret is down. Run out of pressure there, and Wallenega pouring it on in the mid lane, actually going to be able to push him out. And it looks like, besides this top lane, everything looking pretty good so far for Bros Before Hose. And Kunev just, just kind of hanging back here, trying to play safe. And Vlad just getting the auto form. So it's going to be actually a big factor for them getting later. And there's the big jump in. TK Ren left alone with this Vi coming in as well. And so he's going to fall right there. And really unfortunate, gets deleted just a little bit there. But, I mean, again, just really good, strong ganks. And without that, Morgana in that bot lane, really just kind of set up out to dry right there, just hung out to dry right there. Really needs that to kind of counter the CC that, again, like that conflict we talked about a little bit earlier. Coming in here at the team select, it's going to be really, really clutch for them, and not going to be able to defend this turret possibly. It looks like it's going pretty. Pastrana actually has that BT, is going to be able to get it, and now we see Highwind finding Frost out here, trying to trade a little bit. Has that red buff, doesn't quite want to lose it. Getting some pressure in here. Now we see the ult coming in here. Highwind's going to be very, very low here. Pool is going to be down, and we're going to see Kunev come in here with the slow, and the Overload is going to be able to pick that up. Now they're going on to Lux. Should be pretty close. Vi going to come in, but she is going to be picked up. Oh, he splits the uprights. Beautifully done. Now Kunev and Wollenega trying to work on, get that reset with the shackle, put some more damage on here. Kunev actually just backing off out of this. I don't quite know why. And now we see V4V Cloud coming in here, but Ezreal coming in from the side as well as Morgana. They actually get a really good extended fight here. It looks like Cloud is possibly going to pick up. True Chopper Rush comes through, is going to be able to pick up the kill, and now they're pressing the advantage home. Nicely done. Good turnaround. Able to pick him up piecemeal. Vlad just a little bit too comfortable. Enemy jungle thinking he was too much of a boss. A little bit too comfortable up from that top lane position. And now we're actually going to see them pressure onto this turret. Ezreal tanking quite a few hits, but they have the minions for that. They're going to be able to at least take this mid turret right now, and that is going to swing. That's actually going to be their first turret of the game. I actually thought they had they'd possibly picked up another one at some point, but given the pressure in the top lane, the fact they haven't really been able to push the advantage after their kills, deciding to get dragons instead, that is what's going to happen. And then now they're actually going to come in here and steal this blue buff as well, which will be a nice pickup for them. Looks like Ezreal's going to be able to have this one now, and Rise did actually pick up that one. So 2 blue buffs. Well captured, and we're going to see another big push in here, nicely executed in here onto this turret. The question is, what is going to happen now as we see V4V coming in here to try to put in the pressure? Will they be able to take down the turret in time? If they do, I think they actually will be pretty well set up for another fight. The engagement does come in. Highwind does re-enter, and now a Soul Shackle possibly going off. Black Shield goes off, trying to get deep to try to get it to go off, and we see Vi in that backline still going to get peeled. Highwind now trying to disengage from this team fight. Everybody pretty low, and they really just want to keep those buffs and keep their advantage and get out of this. Trading 1 for 1 there, actually not too bad, giving up the support of all things for what they're going to have to give up, and they're probably, and they don't actually have a top tier to give up, so this is actually not going to be too bad for them. They're actually going to be able to back off this pretty well. 5 to 9 kills, actually creeping up to a 2K lead at this point in the game. And we see him just creeping out here. As far as items go, Rabadon's Death Cap finished for Lux, so she can actually have a nice burst of damage. And they've been seeing a lot of different opinions on actually what to go for the big items, the kind of main ones that are coming up. But Lux, is one of those good candidates for Rabadon's Death Cap. But DFG still also really good as well some items, but just a little bit expensive. But if you have a nice little burst rotation combo that you want to do to burst someone down, actually is a pretty good item. But we're going to have to see her working. It looks like she might be heading towards the land use or something next. At least Haunting Guys looks like it is going to be the next item, at least of what she bought, those beefy stats as she went back to base. As we look at Ezreal actually going Sheen, so it looks like he's going to be going towards Ice Gauntlet as his next item. Coming up here, Wit's End finished on Aurelia. Waiting to lead up to that next item. Looks like he might be going for ZL next, and then go for that Trinity Force. and be able to beast it out. And again, Vlad just a little bit taking time on for his team. Revolver still hanging on. Abyssal Scepter coming in, which Abyssal Scepter is an okay item. It gives you some defense, and it gives you that area of effect pen, but really overall as an item on Vlad, I kind of don't like it as much anymore. Although, there is a lot of, there's the argument is there's a lot of AP items that actually have a lot of really things that aren't cost effective for him, but overall, Abyssal Scepter, I'm not a big fan of it, at least in the Season 3 patch changes. Okay item for some all-in champions, and Vlad does get in there, but yeah, I don't know. They do have a double AP comp, so actually I can see a little bit of use from it. Not completely bad. But now they took Dragon. Now they're going to be moving on to this mid-turn. Going to be able to pick up that. And that's actually going to put them at 1k behind. So nice little objective control right there. Taking the mid-turret, taking the Dragon. And now we're going to set up, though. The thing is, they are going to run a little bit scared because we do see a strong teamer, but it's only 3 members from Bros Before Hose. But the 5-man comp, at least 4 Bros Before Hose, is pretty effective here and should be a pretty good one going forward. But we'll see how this actually works out. Do have some good poke and ranged action coming in here from V4V side, so looks like Tristan actually headed to that bot lane, that turret, which is pretty vulnerable. That might be the next actual target, as we see Bros Before Hose actually coming in here and trying to get onto this Tarek right away. Stun is blown, but that CC reduction doesn't matter. Eats him alive, and Vi gets in there. Ill-advised. Laser just barely misses across the team, and now the flash after the slows. The slows coming in. Lux is in slow motion right now. Gets shackled. She's going to be picked up as well. Wolonega eating her alive. That Rise getting into a scary mode right here. And the only people pretty much left up for their team are this Vlad and Tristana. And they're not going to be able to defend this bottom turret, which is going to be picked up next as well. So nice little swing of objectives coming back. But really just getting beat up in these team fights. And just kind of the main problem, I think, for them, at least so far in this game I'm looking at, is a lot of times when they're losing these team fights is that they're just kind of getting piecemealed. I mean, you're just basically getting caught like one at a time and getting picked off, and that's just kind of the detriment to their team, is kind of getting pulled apart by a lot of really strong champions. I mean, as we look in here now, the CS starting to creep ahead. Tristan actually still ahead, and Vlad still ahead in CS, but as far as like kills go, at least the team is heavily favored onto Bros Before Host, and they're really thriving off that right now, as well as finally picking up some turrets, even that out, at least on the outer edge. So all outer turrets down. Now in the stage where Warning becomes a bigger factor for the game, and we should see them actually be a lot more aggressive with this coming out here a little bit as we go forward, and we'll see how it goes. Frozen Heart actually coming in for Rise, so he's actually super tanky and going to be able to reduce a little bit of the effectiveness of both Vi and Tristana here, so that's actually a big pickup for their team. Rando and Zoma, kind of the next big item that people are usually used to seeing actually be a huge factor, at least in kind of the next OP item that people are looking towards now that Play the Rune King, Warlock, and all that stuff is. I mean, it's a really efficient item. Plus, the active is really, really great if you utilize active. If you utilize the active, it can be really, really strong for your team. If you forget about it, obviously, like all activated items, becomes a huge waste. But very effective for a lot of these champions that like to get in there, that can wade into the enemy team. But Frozen Heart for Rise is actually pretty good item. Just poking out here. Really quickly take down that ward, which is really good. I Fight Bears actually has Oracles now. He's going to be able to pick up that one as we see the trades going down right now. And they're just both going to back off. Pink Ward's actually in the enemy jungle, so a lot of good aggressive warding coming for Bros Before Hose. Now they're going to be able to pick up another turret really, really quickly, warding up here for some Baron control, and that's actually pretty nice for them. If they can get actually Baron control, you can set up a lot of team fights, which right now they kind of really want to set up a fight. I mean, they're in that primed mode where they're ready. Just don't want to get caught on a really big Lux laser followed by the flat out. That team fight is so potent. Actually, just sitting on here, and there's going to be the catch onto Kunev. They're going to focus a lot of damage in there. Kunev's going to back off out of this. Vlad gets off a nice ult, but he's going to pool underneath a lot of damage, possibly. True Shot Barrage flies through, just a little bit off target, though. Unfortunate for them. Vi in the backlines, they're going to have to deal with her pretty soon, and Wolong actually going to collapse on there. They're going to be able to take her out. Now we actually see Highwind coming in here with a little bit of aggressiveness. And now they're actually really, really low, backing off out of this as best they can. And, yeah, able to pick up 1 for none right there. Pretty good trade for them. Just need to back off out so no one needs to get laser surgery on their way out and get picked off by this Lux, which is trying to hunt here. Has some wards. Wolonega trying to run for this one. Doesn't want to get cut. Getting spot out a little bit. Doing a little bit of juke moves. Oh. Wolonega flirting with disaster right now, but a big push onto this mid turret, and this is kind of their game. You know, when when they sense the enemy team back and they get them low, they can make moves like this, and they're able to come in here and pick off another turret. So that's actually a very, very good pick off for them, which is going to be, and there it is. And that's just kind of hanging them in this game. It's keeping them kind of in that 2K gold buffer zone. You know, people keep dying, but they're able to pick it up. And the one problem, at least, we see so far for if they would have got a really good engage and had it been outplayed a little bit in the positioning in that last team fight, I feel like BB4H could have a huge leap advantage after that. But since they waited and caught them, you know, they got off a lot of really great spells and weren't able to quite finish off anybody, which is just kind of they're slightly behind with their comp. And if they can get it even or get it a little bit ahead, they should be able to be pretty good in these team fights to be able to just completely close it out. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes for both teams. Again, iFightBear's doing a good job doing that counter ward game, has a nice line of wards protecting him, at least on his side. They still don't know about the ward actually behind Baron, and the ward in that mid brush was actually a really good warding. Actually, you can see that crossing area very, very well. And that's never going to be seen unless, I mean, they're not common warding spots that a lot of people see, although they should know there's probably is a ward there. But as you can hear, obviously they want them to come to them. But we'll see what they actually do here. Again, the ward advantage earlier. It looks like we have some split push action from Highwood down the bot lane right now. Far up and pushing up that bot lane. Needs to link up with their team. And then they should be actually pretty good here. And they actually have complete Baron control right now. So if they want to sucker them into a fight, they can sucker this out. We're seeing here. And there's going to be the face check from Kuniv. Alt's coming in here. Now this could be a big, huge trade for them. Actually gets stunned into his ult. Comes back in here. True Shot Barrage actually crosses the entire team very, very nicely. Black Shot actually coming down on Kuniv. Going to be able to pick up Vi in the process as well. Now they're coming back in here. V4V Frost able to be able to pick up at least a kill onto Morgana there. It looks like. Let's get Black Shield. Not going to be able to get it. Now Vlad running for his life here. Now more damage coming in here. Is going to be able to pick up. Oh no, Tristana's going to have the resets. It's going to be very, very close unless they pick her up. But now is the Highway going to be able to get it? Or is it going to be? Yes, he is going to be able to pick up the kill. So that's going to be an ace. Very close fight right there for both teams. But BB4H coming out on top. And again, just squeaking them a little bit ahead as far as leads go. A lot of people down, so not huge. And a lot of assists going around for both teams. So a lot of gold traded, at least in that fight. With some of the kill streaks actually pretty good for V4V's side as well, which is why you don't see them fall down quite a bit of gold. Still only a 3K gold lead at this point in the game. But that should be some good confidence. They can really hammer it home now. And actually, Ezreal going Triforce. They have double Triforce. They have Ezreal Triforce. Aurelia has Triforce as well. And yeah, pretty beefy, a lot of damage coming through there. Morgana actually, Emblem of Valor coming online, but more health coming in. So Aurelia is actually, you know, hitting that critical mass point like we talked about a little bit earlier, where he's going to become really hard to deal with. V4V Frost actually pretty beefy as well now, has that hourglass, so he's actually going to have two ways to dodge a lot of damage. You see him actually just charging up his Tides of Bloods right now at this point, which is a pretty good move for him. And you know, he's going to keep using that even if there's nothing around to get health from, just simply because it'll add to his damage and his health stain when he comes in there in this team fights, and he'll actually be able to deal with the total damage he wants to. Getting a little bit scared now by this Vi on the backline. He should be able to hop over the wall if he needs to be. iFightBear's flanking off, but they do have 5 here and not a lot of members of the enemy team. Tristana here, so they actually Laser's going to cross, but it's not going to be pulled out. So Laser's actually going to whiff, and they're going to be able to walk out with that dragon. Very nicely done. Smite coming in for Highwind. Now they're actually rotating to this mid lane. And now it's just basically be a game of, you know, can they draw him into the fight? If they can draw him into the fight and be able to make this happen, then they're going to be actually pretty good off here. And the other time, they're just going to want to V4V is going to be wanting to try to poke him down, get him low if they can, or try to set up another engagement on their terms like they had last time when they're hiding behind the wall. Kind of set up with some good warding, but really iFightBears, if he just goes in there, actually see his Oracle is actually worn off now. So actually he did die in the last fight, so he doesn't actually have Oracles anymore. But if he were to get one, it would be pretty good for them to actually clear out and set up a fight now at this point. Or you use a lot of pink wards, but pink wards really hard to nail every ward that you want to. It's easy to play Minesweeper with the Oracles, so we'll see actually how they try to set this up here. Rotating around the wall, Darkbind just barely misses. Pink ward actually in that tri-bush to make sure they have control over that choke point. Actually pretty critical choke point, since they do have this turret up here in mid lane. And we do see the engagement here. Kuniv wanting to go in quite a bit. Still has that hourglass, so they're actually going to have to pay attention to that. iFightBears just throwing back damage, and they don't have everybody there. Highwind still in the bottom jungle. Not really support his team, but we do see Rise creeping up here, and that's kind of what they need to do. They need to get in there, do some decent poke damage. V4 Frost, you can see how big he's getting on this Vlad and how much trouble a Vlad can be in situations like this. And there we go. The skill shots going back from both teams. Just trying to pick at each other a little bit, at least if they can. And now we see Highwind run after Vi, just bullying her out just a little bit. Keeps pushing this bot lane. Now the rest of the team hiding up in the rest of the top jungle, but they are going to be able to catch out iFightBears, so that's a good pick-off for them at this point. That's kind of what they're looking for, and now we see them actually with some confidence now. Going to start pushing up this mid lane. Highwind has the bot lane pushed in, so we'll see if she's going to blue pill back here. Meet his team up in base. They have nothing really to push here in the mid lane, unless they really want to go for this base turret, but I have a feeling like most of them will be able to get back in time. We'll see how it actually works out here. Quick arcane shift out by TK Rain. Does not want to get caught. Do have bot lane pushing, top lane counter pushing for in the favor of V4V at this point, and just a lot of just slanging some lasers, doing some damage. See how it goes on. This pressure goes on here. I don't quite know how it's going to work out for them. Do have some good clear with the Lux, but we'll have to see how it works out. If they have their full team in here, really scared for V4V if they get caught. So they're actually calling the back. Know that the rest of the team is probably mounting up. Have a huge wave and top lane, bot lane auto pushing though still for Bros Before Host. So we'll see actually how this works out. We'll see them creep up here in this top lane. Gonna meet out each other. Lux getting caught a little bit, and now we might have a fight on our hand. Kunev working out here. TK Rain just sitting over the wall. True Shot Barrage flies through the enemy team. We do see a nice shackle coming off here. Hourglass from V4V Frost. We see V4V Cloud, though, still running rampant in these backlines, cleansing out here. But TK Rain has been able to kite his way out of this at least a little bit. But the stun's coming in. Will he be picked off? No, Arcane shifts out. Now they're going to be able to do this. V4V Frost now going to finally fall, jumps into the base of all places. And will they be able to be close to be able to get this down? Mystic Shot misses. Got to be careful here. And there we have Kuna's going to go in and finish the deal. Ace coming in for Bros Before Hoes. Nice little engagement there. Finally getting a fight they wanted. Still very, very low at this point as they press in and start to push back out these lanes. So again, this game just kind of blow for blow going down, and we see Bros Before Hoes very steadily gaining ground as we go throughout this. But of course, the later game we go, the less that gold lead does mean. So it's kind of actually, for all intents and purposes, really is actually probably pretty even. It's basically been that what a 2K gold advantage is at the stage of games they were able to pick it up. It's probably what it is here. And Laser going to come through, deal a little bit of damage to Kuna, but he's okay with that. Doesn't have a lot of health, doesn't care about the Leandries. Maybe they'll back off of this, pick up a quick turret. Now they're going to back out. True Shot Barrage going to come through and keep the pressure, even at least in that bot lane, very nicely. And that's actually one of the big things about Ezreal that a lot of people, like, no one meant, like, honestly, like, not a lot of people mention this, but, like, his abilities to, like, to control lanes and other lanes, like, with your True Shot Barrage is huge. Absolutely huge, and actually probably the biggest bonus of having an Ezreal on your team. Besides, he's actually a pretty good and fun champ. That True Shot Barrage just manage lanes very, very well. You can actually cut into a lane that's trying to push you and all sorts of stuff like that. Not even like its team fight effectiveness really at all to deal with damage. It's almost better for that control. So V4V Shin going to come in here, actually clear out some Baron control. Actually has a lot of nice little pink wards right there. But again, that ward, that sneaky ward in that brush, that has a lot of time on it. That's actually going to be able to give him a ton of vision. And that's just a common ward that really, if you throw it on pink wards, you almost need to throw it on two, just because it's an easy place to throw on a ward, unless you have oracles. If you're just pink warding up, you almost have to throw it in both those places just to gain control over Baron. Now, just because it's easy to just throw a ward in there, they're free, and they have to put a pink ward in there in order to catch your ward out. So we see them actually coming down here now, actually teaming up here, at least in this mid lane. And Wallenega, Kunev doing some work, and there's that True Shot Barrage again, bottom lane. That's just slowly tinking away at that bottom lane, keeping it from pressing as hard as it could be, because that lane should be massive right now. But two Shot Barrages have been invested in it to keep that from pushing down, so really big for them. A little bit split here as Bros Before Hosts. We see a big, huge push in here from V4V to try to come back in here, maybe clear out some stuff, and they're trying to head towards iFightBears. Again, just kind of looking for a pick-off and don't really want to take on a big, huge fight. And now we actually have... Whew. And they're going to get a little bit of catch, but that's Aurelia, and Aurelia is tanky, and now Highway's going to get in the heart of the line. There's that Morgana coming in here. Actually going to stun V4V Frost up quite a bit. His pool is down. Will he be able to hourglass the time? No, he's not, and now a big fight coming in here, and we're going to see a lot of members going down. Kuna finally might fall. He is going to fall, and we're going to see Highwind is going to fall now, but there is a big pick-off, another ace coming in for Bros Before Host. They have Ezreal and Ryze up yet again. And now they're going to be able to start to push in here, and they might be able to get this base turret. It's going to be pretty close in here. The rest of the members, most of them down for about 30, at least 20 seconds on Vi, so 30, 40 seconds. And the shot coming back towards the mid lane to clear out mid lane of all things. And they're going to try to be pushing this down. Will they be able to do it? That is the key. And here we go. Attack speed actually buffed for Wolonega, and they're going to try to take this down just man mode style here. Arcade shift going in. The crossover. Now they're going to trade off aggro. Well, they're going to try to get it. I don't think they're going to be able to get it, and they're actually going to have to back off out of this. Very, very close. Putting on a bunch of damage, but nah, they need to get out of here. Don't want to mess with any of the kind of Luxults that come in here, but we'll have to see what does come in right now. Dragon coming up for them. Looks like that's going to be their next objective. They've decided they can take without taking a ton of terror damage. Wolonega stacked back up right now at this point. Is looking here, just trying to pretty beastie. The rest of the team, it looks like Frost is actually slowed down a little bit, but actually does have pretty good item set. Is going to be heading towards a Rabadon's Death Cap next, which will be a big, huge item online for him. They'll give him a huge burst of damage. We look through here, a lot of magic that's coming in through for Bros Before Host. So they're actually going to have some decent defense against the pressure that is going to come in here. And we'll see how it actually works out in this trade. And Tristana and the rest of the team heading back up here towards this Baron. Want to gain vision control. Again, this is a big, huge objective right now for as far as this game is going on. And a little bit, the trades are starting. The Baron is going on, and now they're actually going to put pressure on this. Ezreal not in place, but Teleport coming in here, and now they actually put some pressure on. They're going to have to back off and respect this. They know they are behind. I'm not sure how many people are there, so that's actually going to come into play. And Ryze actually having that teleport pretty clutch to allow him to get back into this. And Ezreal coming in as well. And actually going to come to this mid lane, push it up a little bit as the rest of the team groups up. And again, top and bot lane are pushing now. 4 Bros for Hose, which is good for them. Kunev initiating yet again. And Vi just getting all in there yet again onto Ezreal, but he has some good peel. Backs off, is able to get out of dodge before the laser is going to be able to come home. Ryze still online as well. And now we see Kunev coming here. Dashes through, is going to be able to get a kill. There is the ult coming in there. Tristana just still sticking in the backline, getting some good hits, and Vlad's still up as well. Soul Shackle is going to go off just as it falls, and they're going to be able to possibly pick up V4V Frost, but now he's going to go off, has some heal and sustain there, but they're going to focus him next. Now we see Cloud come in, is possibly going to be able to pick up, but no, they're able to take him down, and Highwind's still alive, and still did all that damage, that true damage, should be able to pick up Shin here, but he has those heals. This is very, very close. Iron Locket is actually coming in here. So many shields, and this is the frustrating chase of doom. So many slows. Light Binding probably going to come out soon. Stud. Trying to run this down. It's going to be pretty close. Heal coming in again. There's going to finally be able to get this kill. Nope. More shields. So the longest chase going to be backed off forever. V4V Shen backing him off. And now we're actually going to be sitting here looking in here as they press in. Probably going to be able to take this turret. Should be able to do it now. Beefy enough at this point and should be able to work onto this inhibitor. Lux Laser coming through. And now they actually have a negative hit, so they actually have an objective they can push on that'll be pretty easy for this next. Although there's so many wards for V4V, just in this kind of this protection for this Baron at this point, but just quite not really. Don't even have to do it. Don't even have to do it at this point. Actually has, and again, have to prop them to having their lanes pushing. Good work with the Ezreal and Highwind constantly split pushing. Now they actually just have to deal with lots of lanes pushing. And if they keep that up, it's going to be a pretty easy game for them to try to close out at this point. So Rogue Master Kiba able to come in here and just try to farm up and keep this lanes pushing. They're actually going to have to push this, get this pushing the other way. That's going to try to get them into a mode where they can actually contest this Baron and fight over it. But I have a feeling that what's going to happen is Bros Before is probably going to try to come back out here, reestablish those pushing lanes, and just try to pick a fight if they can. Maybe onto this Naked Inhib, which would be their next best bet. Or they can pick up Baron, but Baron's just more, I mean, it's just a harder objective to go for. We see Rando and Zoman actually coming in for as well from Kunev, so that is a big deal for their team right now. They're actually starting to get to I mean, they're really at critical mass now between Ryze is starting to get a full build, Hecarim's getting that late game build, Aurelia's coming online, and even Morgana just with her ult has been so effective in team fights, and Ezreal getting pretty beefy. Now it's the stage where you have this team comp of a lot of late game characters, and this is completely, not that Bros Before Host hasn't been playing this really well the entire time and getting that advantage, but this is all their world like right now. All their champions are built for this stage of the game, where the other team, Vi's kind of falling off, Tarek's not that great, Lux is okay. But Vlad and Tristana are the only ones that are the real true factors, and as fed as Tristana is, she's so squishy and they have the power to catch her that it's just really not that effective. You see light bindings and everything coming out from the enemy team through the darkness trying to get a pick off, but Kunev can just really engage anytime they want, and they can just bring in their big beefy tanks, wade in and do some damage. And Iron Solari was actually popped. That is not panic. Panic press. Clearly was trying to put down a ward, actually slipped over a key. Does happen, and we see the counter pushes on And V4V does realize this. They're actually heading down towards this naked hib. Mentioned it a little bit earlier. And now here they come in. So V4V is going to have to respond. It looks like Tarek's blue pilling back. Not going to have the full team there as they engage on the backside of this. So this could be actually really bad for them. Now they have nothing to fight for. Now they weren't able to stop it. Now they're going to pick up a fight. And this could be really bad for them. Vlado coming in here, actually going to catch a decent amount of members. Gets the stun down. Hourglass is out of it. Just need to turn their focus as soon as he comes back up. Gonna die instantly. And now the rest of the team's still up now. Pressing in here. Shin's going to be picked off. Now all we have is Lux running for his life. Kuniv doesn't care. He is a beast on Aurelia. Triple kill coming in for Wallenega. And now they can press this game home and close out this game. Well done for Bros Before Hose. Going to be able to move on to the winners grand finals. And they will be playing the winner of the losers bracket, who I believe is going to be Miss Alleycat's team taking on V4V. So we'll see which one of those teams becomes victorious and which team is actually able to close it out. But well done from both teams. Pretty stellar game. And Bros Before Hose able to take it out in the end. So we will be bringing you the losers bracket game next. I'll probably have a co-caster with me, and I won't have people playing the game shouting next to me, so I apologize for that. But definitely stay tuned, and we'll get that game set up as soon as possible to go run over, grab the teams, and get them going right now. Big shout-out to NCIX, actually surprising, again, the prize supports, and just hang around. I'll play some music for you, and then we'll get it going.